Hi friends, thanks so much for stopping by and for joining me today. Thank you for clicking on my video and telling YouTube that they should show more of my videos to the world because I feel like I'm kind of cool. So if you're excited to dive into some drugstore products with me today, stay tuned. Okay, my whole desk is just cluttered with makeup right now because I want to show you some of these products. This is a tag. I can't remember who originally created it. I'll have it right here. That's the original creator. I was tagged by Aly to do this tag, and yeah, so I'm excited to share some of my recommendations from the drugstore or brands that are a little bit more affordable that you might be able to find online or maybe at different retailers. And I tag anyone else out there who wants to do this tag video as well. If you don't want to do a video, then feel free to leave your responses in the comments below because I'll always read them and reply. Or if you decide to do a video, go ahead and let me know in the comments as well and I'll check it out. I'm excited. So yay. And before we dive in, if you're new to my channel and you like what you see today, please be sure to click that subscribe button and click the notification bell icon so that you don't miss any future uploads. I would love to hang out with you again soon. So, alright, let's get to it. The first question asks, if you could only use one drugstore or affordable brand, what would it be and why? This one's tough because there's so many awesome products across multiple brands. There are also some brands that don't do everything well. I'm going to break it down to either NYX or Revolution. And the reason for that is because they have a pretty full range of products. I'm really familiar with NYX. They've got a really great product line from multiple foundations to concealers, primers to color correctors, eyebrow products, mascaras, eyeshadows, highlighters, blushes, you name it. They've got it all. Revolution is just a really giant line now, like with all like Revolution Pro. I don't know all the brands. I'm not even going to try to remember all of the ones that they've launched, but they've got a lot of stuff. I haven't tried it all, so I can't say with 100% certainty that they're all amazing, but at least they have a pretty extensive product line where I would feel like I would be able to dabble in different things and find something that works for me. Number 2, what is the most underrated drugstore brand? I personally love Flower Beauty. That's Drew Barrymore's brand, and honestly, I'm not sure why I don't hear more about it, to be honest. The eyeshadows, more specifically, are really good. They're not too expensive, and here's how much I like them. These ones are called the Shimmer and Shade eyeshadow palettes. I have 3 of those. And then these are the Wanderlust palettes, which are inspired by different cities. So I have a lot of these. So I did a video a couple of years ago using this palette, and I was so shocked by the pigmentation. This green, like, it's really hard to do a lime green that is actually really pigmented and is smooth to apply, that isn't chalky. This is both creamy and pigmented. It applies so nicely to the eye. And then this pastel kind of orange here in the middle, that one is also just a beautiful shade. Yeah, you can see them. They're just really great eyeshadows. I really love how they apply to the eyes. I feel like these are so fun. The only thing I don't like about these palettes is that the packaging is flimsy. Like, the cardboard has separated away from the little plastic cover. So thankfully the plastic cover is magnetic, so it just sticks to the palette, so it's still safe, but it's just annoying that I can't just open it, you know. But yeah, like, these are beautiful palettes. I really like these. I think they're highly underrated. Next is the opposite. Which brand is overrated? For me, that would have to be Morphe. There's so much hype around their products, and honestly, I don't like giant palettes. I get overwhelmed by colors, and I'm pretty sure I have most of those in other palettes. I like to curate my makeup. I like palettes to be more well thought out. I don't want repeats of the same brown tone multiple times in a palette. Their eyeshadows are fine. They're just not my favorite at all. I like their brushes. Their brushes are nice. I don't know if they still, you know, contract with and do private labeling with Crown Brush, because that's what they used to do, and I love Crown Brush. Crown Brush is like the top Not everything Morphe does is bad. Not everything they do is good. I just find that a lot of the stuff that they do is just lackluster and doesn't really interest me. The only things that have really interested me are, unfortunately, the Jeffree Star palette, which I will not be buying. And given that whole situation, Morphe is just not a brand that I want to purchase from at the moment. So, overrated, overdone, overhyped. Favorite drugstore product under $5. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? It's so simple. It is my e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. This has been my holy grail lately. It's so easy to do my brows. I'm not wearing it today. I'm trying a different product out. But I actually prefer my e.l.f. one over this Urban Decay one. And I spent a lot of money on this Urban Decay one to find out that I like the $2 version better. They just work really nicely and they stay in place all day. There's a little spoolie on the end. I mean, $2. You can't go wrong with a $2 pencil. What is a hidden gem from the drugstore that nobody talks about? Okay, so I mentioned Flower Beauty, so I'm not going to repeat that, but I don't hear a lot about them here on YouTube anyway. I really hope they're doing okay as a brand because I love their shadows and hope they continue moving forward with that. Another brand I don't really hear about all that often is Jordana. Jordana, at least for me, is available at Walgreens. I don't know that they're available in other drugstores, but I really love their eyeliners. They're so creamy and pigmented. Like, that's just barely touching the surface. I think they're $2 a piece, something around there, like $2, $3. So I really think they're a hidden gem, and I really enjoy them. I've been using them for years, to be honest. The next one, number 6, asks, what is your favorite drugstore foundation? I go back and forth sometimes. I'm always trying new foundations out, but I always go back to the Revlon Color Stay. I've repurchased it multiple times and I just really like how it lays on my skin. If you like the MAC Studio Fix foundation, this to me feels like a very similar formula, but for about half the price. I like that they offer versions for normal dry skin and also oily skin, because obviously there's different needs for different skin types, so that's a really great way to cater to multiple markets. A runner-up for me, however, is the CoverGirl CG CoverGirl Smoothers Hydrating. Like, they've changed packaging so many times. This was a new to me product about 6 months ago, and I bought it just to try it out, and I really like that too. It kind of reminds me of my Complexion Rescue from Bare Minerals. L'Oreal also makes some great foundations, but those two are like at the top, like the top. Number 7 asks, what products do you tend to buy at the drugstore versus buying high-end? I know a lot of people are going to say this, and it's mascara. It's mixed for me on that one. I do buy some mascaras at the drugstore. I tried L'Oreal Voluminous. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of it for my lashes, but I really love this Maybelline Lash Sensational one. The one that comes in the silvery pink packaging that I guess is supposed to look like the Better Than Sex mascara from Too Faced. I don't know if that's a dupe or not. I also really like these NYX colored mascaras. I went through this phase where I wore nothing but like blue and purple mascaras, and their blue mascara is beautiful. It's super pigmented. I think these are like $6 or something like that, so I really like them. Another product that I tend to buy drugstore more than anything else are my lip products. So for me, it'd probably be like a mixed combo of mascaras and lip products from the drugstore. Number 8 asks, what drugstore brand is overpriced? That one is kind of easy for me. The first one I would say is NYX. Not everything that they have in their product line is expensive, or at least overpriced in my opinion. However, they've had multiple releases with larger palettes that are $35 to $40, and it's like, come on. You're a drugstore brand. Like, even ColourPop's cheaper than that. Come on. And ColourPop tends to not be as hit or miss with its shades, whereas NYX is very hit or miss with its palettes. I just can't get on with that. I just can't justify spending $35 on a NYX palette when eyeshadows are hit or miss in their palettes. So I feel like that can be really overpriced. L'Oreal can also be pretty overpriced for me. Some of their products are wonderful. Like, I will still buy them. However, some of their face products I feel like are a little overpriced for what they are, especially when you compare them to other products from Milani or Wet n Wild or Revlon. Like the Revlon one, I think this is $14 or $15, but I start seeing L'Oreal creeping up into like the $17, $18 range, and I'm like, hold on. If I just spend $2 more, I get my MAC Studio Fix foundation, which is my ride or die. So why would I buy a drugstore when I can get my MAC one for $19 because I have my pro discount? Doesn't make sense to me. So those are two brands that I think tend to be a little overpriced. Number 9 asks, what is your favorite drugstore dupe for a high-end product? This one is fun, and I think y'all will appreciate it. Remember these beautiful eye toppers from Stila? Milani pulled its A game out and has redefined what hypnotic eyes look like. That's really just because it's the name of their product. It's the Hypnotic Lights holographic eye toppers. These things are beautiful. They're very similar to the Stila ones, only, you know, half the price. Like, look at that. There's glitter, there's shimmer particles. It's just a beautiful product, and I think it's an excellent dupe for some of these Stila ones. Don't get me wrong, I still love my Stila, but I also don't want to spend $22 when I can spend $10. Granted, Stila does have more color choices versus Milani, which only has a handful, but to be honest, when I wear a topper, it's going to usually be a light color like this. So number 10 asks, what is the best drugstore formula? And I think that is so broad and so vague that I'm just going to choose something. My favorite liquid lipsticks that stay in place, that I don't ever have to worry about, that don't transfer, that don't break down, they're just amazing, are the Maybelline Super Stay Matte Ink Lips. I have like 8 of them, I think. I don't know. Reds and deep reds like this, that can be tricky to wear long term and not have to go check in the mirror and double check to make sure nothing went outside the lens and, you know, is looking kind of icky there, because, you know, with a really dark color and lighter lips, you can tell when it's breaking down quite easily. These don't break down and they stay in place. I don't ever have to worry about them moving anywhere. My cat just fell off a box. Okay, kitty. I thought cats are supposed to be graceful. Apparently they're not. Okay. Anyway, if Maybelline ever chose to discontinue these, I would probably go riot their headquarters and say, bring them back, they're so good. Second runner up for lipsticks are the Revlon lipsticks. I just really love their color selection. I love the formulas. So these Revlon lipsticks kind of remind me of MAC lipsticks, which I still absolutely love, by the way. You know, MAC isn't something that people talk about anymore, but I still love my MAC. These Revlon lipsticks are pretty similar in formula and performance, so I really like these as well. Okie dokie. The next one is, what is the worst drugstore formula? The first thing that popped up in my mind were these Aly MUA eyeshadow squad things. I bought so many of them because I thought, ooh, these would be amazing. I like all the color options that they come with. These, they were patchy. They blended off the eyes. They just didn't perform the way that I would hope they would. I was really sad because I bought 5 or 6 of these, and you know, they're really pretty in the packaging. Like this blue, look at those colors, they're so pretty, but they just don't perform that well on the eyes. They just kind of dust away. You know, for drugstore products, I understand that not all of them are going to be amazing quality. They're not going to compare to some high-end products. But other drugstore brands are stepping up the game. Milani, Wet n Wild, Elf, Profusion. They're inexpensive, but they just, man, they're so good. Why are you not that good, Aly MUA? I was rooting for you. I'm going to play Tyra Banks here for a minute. I was rooting for you. Nobody talks about Aly MUA, and I guess I know why, because their eyeshadows just really disappointed me. I did a video kind of going through and trying these on a couple years back, so I'll have that linked up in the cards above and below in the description if you're interested in seeing how these actually performed on my eyes. I tell you what, I actually like took my makeup off and redid it on camera to see, okay, is it me who's having a problem? Because, you know, sometimes you just second guess yourself. You're like, okay, am I doing this wrong? Is something wrong with me that this is not blending out nicely, or just turned muddy or whatever? So go check it out. So number 12 asks, what is a drugstore brand that you used to love but you're not as crazy about now? I know I said that I would probably choose them for a brand if I had only one brand to pick from, and it's NYX. So remember the NYX Face Awards? Remember how hyped NYX was for so many years? I feel like ColourPop has taken over those reins, and now it's ColourPop this, ColourPop that. NYX was a brand that released a lot of products, did a lot of different special collections, and we all know ColourPop's really good at doing that, so I feel like ColourPop kind of took over the reigning place in the race. NYX is just kind of falling off the bandwagon, and they're just not as cool anymore. I have tons of NYX products. I still use them. They've gotten really overpriced in a lot of their palettes. They push out a lot of product, and it's hit or miss. Like, you can't always tell if the eyeshadow quality is there. With how extensive their line is, I just don't see them being as innovative with products as much. Or if they are being innovative, it's being drowned out by other brands. So NYX, if you're out there, if you're listening, please do something cool so we know you're still alive. So number 13 asks, what is a drugstore product you didn't expect to like, but it actually ended up wowing you? I feel like I answered this already, but I didn't. At the time, I hadn't really played with this brand that much. I think I only had one lipstick or something, and it was Essence. This particular product is Blush Up. It's very bright. I love this one. It reminds me of my limited edition MAC blush. They're both ombre. Like, this one's my MAC one, this one's the Essence one. This one's a little bit lighter than this one, but they remind me of each other because of that ombre effect. I really like this blush. It's very pigmented, as you can tell, so you have to use a really light hand, but I really like the color. Like, that is so pretty. And it blends nicely. It's just a great summer color, so I really liked that blush. Number 14 asks, what is your favorite affordable drugstore eyeshadow palette? I have a couple. It shouldn't be any surprise to you because one of my recent uploads was about Profusion. $15, baby. $10, baby. $10, I think. This one's not sold anymore, so I'll exclude that. They're so good. They're so pigmented. They're so creamy. They're so bold. They blend nicely. Profusion, you just stepped it up, and you just rock my socks, you knock my socks off, rock socks, whatever off. I can't talk because I'm so excited. So if you want to see me do a fun swatchy video with Profusion eyeshadows, then the link's up here and down there, so click whichever one. I feel like I'm doing Saturday Night Fever. Anywho, so go check that out. I'm such a dork. Alright, so that's the end of this tag. However, there are some bonus questions. Whoop, 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 whoop. Bonus round. Okay, I was watching Jessica Braun's version of this tag video, and she added some additional questions, so I thought it'd be fun to answer her questions as well. So, bonus question number 1. What is the most improved brand? Okay, the first brand I immediately thought of was Wet n Wild. I remember being a preteen adolescent girl getting into makeup, and my mom being like, I don't know if I want you wearing makeup. And Wet n Wild was seen as kind of a little kid's brand, so she would let me have anything I wanted from Wet n Wild, even if it was like a bright red lipstick. I wasn't allowed to wear it out, but I had fun with it. So Wet n Wild, you know, felt like kids makeup for the longest time. And the quality was just meh, but then they slowly just started stepping up their game, and now they're out there like, hey, we're a contender here, and you can spend your $20 on that single product, or you can spend $5 with us and have just as good of a quality product. So hey, we're here. We were there for you when you needed bright blue nail polish and you needed black eyeliner for $1. We were there when you needed a $2 lipstick. And we're still here when you need to shine to the gods with that holographic highlighter and these beautiful eyeshadows. We're here for you. Bonus question number 2 asks, who has the best new line of products? e.l.f. I think e.l.f. is another brand that's just really stepping up their game. They're adding new collections, and I keep seeing all over YouTube right now was it the retro disco or whatever that disco fun, bright colored palette is. That's kind of boho, 60s mod feeling, whatever. I feel excited about what e.l.f. is launching and what they're releasing. I mean, they have a selfie light for your phone. So, like, they're being innovative and they're cool. Number 17 asks, what brand do you feel as though is dying out? This is based on just my own perceptions because I don't watch TV to see if there's any commercials. I don't really see a lot of ads because, hello, who gets magazines anymore? And plus, nobody talks about them that much or at all even on YouTube. So, the two brands I feel like are dying out are Neutrogena and Aly MUA. I said it. So Neutrogena, and a lot of people really like the, was it Neutrogena Healthy Skin Foundation? I bought it and it was okay. The formula was okay, but it was way too pink for me and it made me look just sallow and gross. Looked like I had rolled out of a coffin at the mortuary and they realized that I was actually alive, not dead. So yeah, I didn't like that look. And then Aly MUA. I do like these little lipstick things, these lip vibes from Aly MUA. They have the cutest packaging and they're really pigmented. I do like those. However, I just don't really see them doing a lot of new things that are really wowing me. As I said before, like this whole concept is cool, but they just didn't execute it very well, and because of that I feel like they're dying out, or at least in danger of it, especially when there's so many other affordable brands out there that are kicking butt. They're kicking their butt. And Aly MUA, I was rooting for you and you're just not there. I don't think you've ever been there. Anyway, and the final bonus question. Woo! I don't know why I'm so excited. Maybe it's because I want coffee and I need to go get coffee. The final bonus question asks, what drugstore product have you loved and used for years? I have a few things because I am a lover of makeup, obviously. The first one, which is an old school, you're probably going to laugh at me because this is really old packaging, but I still love it. Oh, and there it goes. It's in the air. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Airspun. The Airspun powder from Coty. Old school or what? But I tell you what, it still does the trick. It still does the job. It still smells like an old lady, but it still works. These beautiful infallible eyeshadow things, I don't know what they're called, from L'Oreal. I remember when they first came out several years ago. Like, I went through this whole makeup series doing like gemstones, and I actually don't remember finishing that, to be honest. Maybe I should. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to see me reprise that gemstone or birthstone series and create looks with that. But anyway, like, this is the garnet shade, so I created the January garnet birthstone look using this eyeshadow, and then I did the same with the purple one for amethyst. These things are so beautiful and they're just a pressed pigment. They're just really creamy. But yeah, I've been using these for a long time because they're just lovely. Another thing that I've been using for years is Milani powder blushes. It's the Tea Rose. It's so natural looking. It applies beautifully. It's not overly pigmented. It just gives a nice flush to the face. I just use this all the time. It's like my default blush. This just gives me that really nice flush look that's natural, and I really like this blush. I can't talk today. Thanks for sticking around, and I hope this video was enjoyable and that you learned something. Maybe you are able to go to the drugstore and find some of these products yourself and give them a whirl and a swirl on your eyes and face, whirl and a swirl on your face. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I'm gonna have fun putting all this stuffs away, and while I do that, I'm gonna let you guys go and have an awesome day. I hope you stay well, stay healthy, stay happy, and stay electric as always. I'll see you next time. Mwah.